All right, y'all. Make sure to smash up the likes. We'll do $1,000 giveaway. We get $1,000. 1,000 likes. I mean, we'll do $1,000 giveaway. God bless y'all. In the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Pray you and your family are super blessed on this day, as Bitcoin is currently, guys. Well, back in action. Back in action. And I'll be honest with you guys, all right? I'm gonna come out the gate. Jason Casper gives it to you straight. He never gives it to you Romans 1:27 in here, all right? I'm upset with myself, guys, right now. I'm pretty upset with myself right in this moment, all right? Reason being is because we're getting an epic bounce from the setup that I literally gave yesterday morning, with the confirmations that I gave yesterday morning in the dang VIP Discord. But I didn't take the trade because I was blinded. I don't know what the heck was wrong with me, man. We come down to the dang Fibonacci golden pocket from the low to the high. And I was looking for bullish div divergence on the 1 hour, the 24 minute, the 6 minute. I want to see money flow getting higher. Well, you come to the dang 1 hour time frame and you have the juiciest, unevenest butt cheek pattern in the world. I mean, to the textbook, right? You go to the 24 minute, what do you have? The juiciest, uneven butt cheek pattern. You go to the 12 minute, and what do you know? Money flow is getting higher. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, it's so perfect. It's so perfect. How did I not see this? I was literally looking at this yesterday. How did I not see it? I can't even believe this, guys. I'm being honest with you. I can't. I'm not even joking right now. I'm legitimately upset with myself for not seeing the most obvious textbook long trade setup in the world. Okay, this long that I'm in here is not a fresh long. This is the long I've been in since 2 weeks ago, or wherever the heck we made the bottom. I added to it now because we're bouncing from the Fibonacci golden pocket. But I wish I had taken this trade with a fat position. Instead, I'm in it with a real lean position. It's so much lean that I can't even talk straight. I sound like a mumble rapper up in here. I'll be honest with you guys, you know, good old hindsight trading. Man, oh man. Now the Bitcoin price, as we know, is popping with this weekly candle back above the macro value area low of the range, which honestly, guys, is super bullish in general. Like, it looks like right now, all things considered, with that beautiful bounce from the golden pocket, confirmed 3-day bull div, that we very well can come up to $96,000. I think we get a move right up to $96,000 here. The daily's printing a nice trigger on and off, like it's flirting with a daily trigger. We close this daily candle above 90,500, and we're gonna get vacuum sucked right up to take all this liquidity here, man. We got to give a major shiz out to everybody in the dang chat. Fake out or breakout. Shout out to Nihilist UK Drum and Bass. I tried to long the bottom as well. Shout out to Blue Lantern. He says, can't imagine longing yesterday. The 4-year cycle was right on point. Well, whatever the case, guys, you know, the 4-year cycle on point or not on point doesn't change the fact that there's long and short trades to be taken no matter what. All right, there's long and short trades to be taken no matter what. All right, major shout out to HFG, shout out to Senor, shout out to Red Elephant, shout out to the Rob side, Jason coming out with the McDonald's hat, baby. Shout out to my man R Pink. He says they don't call it golden for no reason. Yeah, seriously. I was scared. Jason, well, I don't know. Was I scared? I'm never scared. But I was pretty bearish. I was blinded by the bear. I was blinded by that rejection, man, honestly. I was blinded by the failure to close the weekly candle above the level and then the harsh rejection from 92,000. I was pretty blinded by that. Must be, all right? I don't know. Major shout to James. He says, I totally nailed it. Well, congratulations, James. I'm so happy for it. Shout out to Glasshopper, who also took the trade. That's what's up. Shout out to the Philip Colin 151. The butt cheek was too small. You're not used to the size. LOL. Shout out to Preparing for War. Shout out to Mom L. He says, I sound under the weather. That might be it. That must be it, man. That must be why I couldn't see the dang trade. Shout out to Joe Mama. God bless you, bro. Shout out to Nick Chat. Bitcoin now 9.6% right off the monthly 382. Yeah, look at that, man. Look at that pump. Look at that pump. Major shout out to Smooth Red 4419. Funny how everyone on YouTube says everything 1000% is down in the 4-year cycle is so obviously repeating. Now channels are pretending they knew this was coming. I mean, I don't know if you're talking about me or not, but I will be honest and say I'm still in the camp that the top is in here, bro. I'm still in the I literally have the same exact bias that I've had since the very top. All right, the very top. Short trade activated, set up, given an advanced trade taken in real time because I didn't miss the dang bearish divergences at the top. But yeah, my bias right now is still that the top is in, and that what potentially could happen here is what I've been talking about the whole way down, which is basically, guys, a relief rally and a lower high to come in. All right, you never go straight down, never ever. We've been looking at this weekly momentum wave right here for a long time, right? It's been below that level now for this is the third week. All right, so my bias has not changed at all. I'm still going to go with, I think that the pullback is right on schedule. I don't see 2026 personally as being a bullish year in the beginning of the year. I think towards the end of 2026 is when we're going to start a massive bull market once again to see some new all-time highs. All right, that's personally what I think here. But, you know, I could be wrong. And as soon as I am wrong, I'm willing to say I was wrong. And I publicly said I am not buying spot Bitcoin unless we're under $70,000. I posted it on X over on Twitter. All right, go follow me on Twatmeister over here. Because, what did I say? I guess it was a long time ago, yeah. I'm not buying until under 70, and I truly mean that. I am not buying Bitcoin on spot until under $70,000. All right? So, nothing has changed on my high time frame outlook here. All right? Could we double tap 127 again? Yep, we could. Like, and I've said that as well, right? Look, the thing about trading, which is different than long-term investing in Bitcoin, is you can make tons of money trading in sideways range, okay? If we stay here for a long time, even if we take the high again and make another drive of bearish divergence in an epic short squeeze, I would still have the same exact outlook that I have now. Nothing would change. Why? Well, because when you're dealing with really high time frames, guys, all right? When you're dealing with really high time frames, you have to understand that the top doesn't just come in with a tap. It did back here, but it doesn't always do that. And even back here, it didn't come in with a tap, right? We had this zone. We had this zone for 4 months that we stayed in between 13,000 and 19,000. Then back in 2021, we had a zone between 40,000 and 65,000. It lasted for many months. Right now, I believe this is the zone that we are topping out in, right? This is the range that we're topping out in right now. The reason I say this is because of the 2-month bearish divergences that have confirmed. All right, confirmed 2-month bear div historically is always the sign of a multi-month, about 9-month time of down and lagging in the market. All right, some people call it a bear market. Let's just call it a little bit of sideways and down that leads to the next big opportunity to stock up on Bitcoin, right? We look at the 2-month index here. You can see that every time we get this confirmation, I mean, it's pretty much the top, right? So we had it in 2018, we had it in 2021. So yeah, the range could still be traded for a long time. But here's the thing. If we do make another high here, right? If we do make another high here, I mean, we're going to have like the craziest bearish divergences, right? It's going to be so crazy if we actually come back to make a new all-time high. The divergences will be insanely bearish, right? There's no way we could continue that. Very similar to what happened back here, right? We did make another high. The divergences were so insanely bearish, you know? So I think right now, all things considered for me, based on the time that this is happening, what's most likely here to happen is like a little bit of a range chop. I'd say we probably come back, test around 108,000, right? That's going to be a good level for me to look for another short to take it down lower. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? If it's the super cycle now and we go straight to $250,000, well, guess what? Guess what? Guess where my next take profit is on this trade here? Any guesses? Guess. Any guesses? Do we have any guesses? Let's see. Where's my orders? $250,000 take profit on the Bitcoin long, okay? In case it's the super cycle, and in case you crazy bears, all right, and you say Bitcoin's going to 10K, well, guess where my next take profit is on the short? 10K, all right? You know, I have to take everything to the utmost extreme. As a crypto YouTuber, I'm either ultra bearish, calling for 250, or I'm ultra bullish, calling for 250, quarter mil, or I'm ultra bearish, calling for 10K. You know, God forbid, I just come out here and say, you know, we're probably going to trade the range for a little bit. You know, that's not sensational at all, all right? And sensationalism right now is at an all-time low here in the crypto space, all right? People are wrecked after October 10th. You have people liquidated, people sidelined. All right, shout out to everybody in the dang chat. Make sure to like. If you want to win $1,000, like the video. Speaking of that, guys, the fear and index right now is quite interesting. 23, we're still in extreme fear. As we know, when we come into extreme fear, that's typically when we get some relief. All right, we've been talking about this since we were back here with this weekly candle here in the middle of November about how when we come down to extreme fear, this is the time to look for some relief. We've outlined certain things we're looking for in order to expect relief. I would be really watching this daily close right here, guys. This daily close, closing above the macro value area low, which is this orange line right here, coming in about 90,500. That is our first real sign of relief coming in, right? We had to move down below the area. We came up above. We failed to close, but we made a higher low. And if we can close above now, that's actually a really nice sign of strength right there, just based on the volume. All right. In the news, guys, Bitcoin surges back above $91,000 as support builds at the $80,000 to $85,000 area. Finally, some bullish news after so much bearishness, man. It's been pretty dang crazy with all this bearish news. According to the analyst in this article, $80,000 is a very key support, and the fact that we backtested 85,000 means buyers stepped in to buy the dip, and this bounce has revived hopes among some in the crypto market for a recovery, as it suggests that despite recent volatility, some demand remains for Bitcoin at lower levels. And indeed, when we take a look at the chart, what do we see here? Well, the dip down to this $83-ish thousand level was a higher low right in the Fibonacci golden pocket from the low that we made back here on November, Friday the 21st. We get our first high, reject from 92, key resistance, come down to the Fibonacci golden pocket, and boom, here we are back above value area low. So yeah, we saw buyers step in here for sure, holding that price. Let's take a look here at the order flow, and let's go to the 4-hour and take a look at this order flow. You know, I don't see anything bullish about this order flow, which is quite interesting here. Like, I don't see any kind of like bullish CVD divergences here, but what we do definitely see at this higher low is extreme market cipher bullish divergences. All right, the 1-hour bullish div, the 24-minute bullish div, and of course, you know, the 4-hour did give us a juicy trigger wave before that pump. You know, I really, like I said, it's so crazy to me that I did not long this, because in hindsight, I'm literally baffled, guys. I'm literally baffled that I didn't long this. Like, I know myself as a trader. I can't believe I didn't long this. This is like a classic Jason Casper trade, right? This is like the perfect Jason Casper setup. So, yeah, a daily close above 90,600. We're going to shoot right up to 96. And if we hold 96, then we could come up to the support resistance flip around $107,000 to $108,000, guys. It could really happen, Zatve. Now, this article right here from theblock.co is talking about something that many have been talking about in the space. Grayscale, everyone's favorite institution, predicts a new Bitcoin high in 2026, dismisses the 4-year cycle view. All right, this is quite interesting because according to Grayscale, all right, they think Bitcoin could hit a new all-time high in 2026, challenging the historic notion that Bitcoin must follow the traditional 4-year halving cycle. According to Grayscale, the 4-year cycle is outdated, and this bull cycle hasn't seen a parabolic surge which characterized previous cycles preceding a major crash. Very true point, very good point. It's something that we need to be aware of this time around because we have seen a few differences this time around in the 4-year cycle. I think the best example of this is if we go back to January 2024, where we were expecting a 30% pullback, 30 to 35% pullback, because historically speaking, before the halving comes, Bitcoin rallies up to the Fibonacci 618 level and gets a pullback from the level. And typically what we do is we backtest the bear market resistance. So we would expect this support resistance flip right here to break out and then backtest, and then we pump. Then we get the halving, and then we hit a new all-time high after the halving. That's what you expect for the 4-year cycle. Well, this time around, what happened? BlackRock launches the ETF. And so instead of a correction of about, 35, 40%, which is usual, we got a pullback of about 20%, and then we hit a new all-time high before the halving. All right. So 2 things to keep in mind. The pullback happened at the right time. All right. Pullback was on schedule. It just didn't happen as deep as we would expect. And so the question is, right now, this pullback is definitely on schedule. This is the deepest pullback we've had the entire bull run. Like, let's not forget a 36% correction. This is a historic correction for Bitcoin during this bull run. You go back all the way to the bottom of the bull run, and all these retracements, yeah, they come down this one 20%. Okay, the one after this, it come down 20% again. The one after that, we come down 20% again. Okay, the one after that, slow grind down another 33%. Okay, 33. The Illuminati, they tell us we're going to still pump. We come down another 33%, another Illuminati signal. This time, guys, is the biggest pullback we've had, 36% pullback. In addition, we have broken down from the dang bull market trend line, okay? We take it from the entire bull market, and we are broken down from the trend line, guys. In addition to this, we have changed market structure. On the weekly here, I would consider that. Not on the monthly, but we are seeing some major signs of weakness with some major bearish divergence here. Flip the chart upside down. It really looks very bearish to me. All right, it really does look very bearish. It looks like we need to at least come back to test this area here, right? Before potentially continuing with this downtrend. Again, remember the chart is upside down. So if the 4-year cycle is over, based on the high term bearishness, I would still expect more of a pullback here. But if the 4-year cycle is broken, then maybe instead of getting our typical 70% pullback, which would take us down just around the high 30s, low 40s, maybe we come down to the high 50s, low 60s to backtest the previous cycle all-time high, which would then give us a macro breakout, macro backtest, and then boom, okay? So not BlackRock, Grayscale, has to have some kind of color in the title, all right? Grayscale. They're saying the traditional 4-year cycle is broke. I mean, broken, right? I say broke because, altcoins absolutely bombed this year, all right? Bitmine CEO Tom Lee also expects Bitcoin to set a fresh new all-time high by January 2027. Very interesting. We were talking about that a few weeks ago. This article also talks about supportive macro conditions, potential interest rate cuts, improved liquidity could further spark Bitcoin's movement to the upside. And that does bring us into the next elephant in the room, which is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve excuse me, I said the Federal Reserve next week will be cutting rates, potentially, by another 25 beats per second. 87% already baked into the cake that is going to be cut. All right. And of course, if we go to forexfactory.com and we take a look at the calendar and we go to next Wednesday, the 10th, we have, of course, the federal funds rate decision. And you can see right now that they are forecasting they are forecasting us to have to chop it down by another 25 basis points. Right now at 4%, they're expecting 3.75, 87% baked into the cake. And so this article is also speculating that this is going to facilitate money coming into crypto. You know, lower interest rates means more liquidity, more money, and which can go right into risk assets. Now, of course, we know typically when the Fed starts doing stuff, there is a little bit of a delayed response when it comes to the market. But essentially, guys, rate cut means more money, more liquidity, which means more risk taking. People have more money to take risks with. All right, lower interest rates makes Bitcoin more attractive to investors. Also, look, people are following the M2 money supply and all this stuff, saying Bitcoin's going to follow the M2 money supply, which means we are on target for a potential massive pump, which would destroy, you know, any kind of 4-year bear market cycle. All right. Now let's talk about this, because this is also super interesting right here, guys. This is also super interesting. Check this out. You know, we've been following ETFs, basically money pouring out of ETFs, especially the XRP ETF. But this article, rare buy signal flashes as institutions pour 243 million into ETFs. All right, XRP falls to $2. But there's some interesting things happening. All right, despite the drop, TD sequential weekly buy signal appeared, a technical indicator that often signals a potential short-term rebound or exhaustion of selling pressure. Okay, that's exactly what we would expect. I mean, literally, we've been watching these signs of exhaustion on the chart across all assets form now for weeks, which is these very, very, very oversold waves on these high time frames like the weekly. I mean, XRP right now on the weekly, potentially once again printing a very oversold momentum wave here, down a negative 58 on market cipher B. The last low that we made here gave us a market cipher of negative 15. I mean, technically that is a hidden bullish divergence, so there's no surprise at all that we are seeing some signs of exhaustion or seller exhaustion. You can't just have a 36% drop on Bitcoin and not experience some kind of exhaustion. But at the same time, we're seeing actual real money pour into XRP spot ETFs. All right. This week, guys, a record 243.95 million pours into XRP spot ETFs. All right. That's crazy. In the last week, this is the largest weekly inflow ever for those specific funds. So this is interesting. All right. November was literally the most bearish month when it comes to ETF outflows. We saw millions of dollars leave ETFs. Now all of a sudden in the last week, we're seeing $200 million come into ETFs at the same time as we are seeing some sellers, some signs of some relief or some exhaustion. I mean, yeah, you cannot have momentum waves down. I mean, for Bitcoin, negative 68. For Ethereum, you know, pretty low, but definitely not as low as Bitcoin. For some of these other assets, guys, potentially seeing like major bottoms forming here on the weekly. All right, XRP, once again, major bottom forming on the weekly. Even in a downtrend, even in a bear market, these are expected to give us big pumps, right? This is just normal. You go back in time, you go back to the last bear market, every single time the weekly gets oversold and prints a bottom, guess what? Pump city. All right, in the middle of the bear market, 45% pump. In the middle of the bear market, 47% pump. All right, only happened twice in the bear market before entering into the bull market. And both times, almost a 50% pump. Okay? Now, this does open up the door for some nice gains on altcoins. Now, I'm not saying we're going to hit blow off tops. All right? And again, maybe Grayscale's right. You know, we're just going to keep on pumping forever. Who knows? But I would say this. If Bitcoin really can close the daily candle above 90,500, all right, that does open up the door for money coming into some of these altcoins. There's no more selling pressure. All right, we've seen millions leave ETFs. We've seen millions, billions, trillions of dollars come out of the market. We've seen liquidations, right? People are sidelined. Sellers are exhausted. You know, people have taken profits on the short side. Now, if money starts coming in and Bitcoin can hold these levels, well, that money very, very well could pour into altcoins. All right. Speaking of altcoins, let's take a look at ETH right now. All right. Ethereum is, in fact, once again, holding this golden pocket. All right. Yesterday, it looked really harsh with that rejection. All right. Yesterday, the candle did not close below the golden pocket. Very significant. And today we are potentially going to print a bullish engulfing candle on ETH. And again here, guys, this parabola that we've had on our chart is a recipe for a major short squeeze. Now, Bitcoin does not need to hit a new all-time high for ETH to squeeze up to, in my opinion, 4,000 easily. And then, in my opinion, 5,500 would be the next target. This is very squeezable right here. All right, we're forming a trigger wave here on the daily. And again, let's keep our eyes on the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. All right, Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Let's not forget the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. All right, we have in fact seen, let's go to the, we're gonna go to the 2-month time frame here, just so we can really get a good look of what's happening here, guys. All right, I'll clear up this chart a little bit, but what is happening here, y'all, is a move to the bottom of the range with a big oversold 2-month green dot, a break above the high volume node of the range. This green line, guys, this is the highest volume node going all the way back to March of 2017. Also, notice what we see here, guys. If we can get the Ethereum Bitcoin pair above this level of 53.76, this is just as easily squeezable as the Ethereum USD pair is squeezable. And we could see Ethereum outperform Bitcoin by, I'd say 65% is probable and very possible, even 170%. We could see ETH outperform Bitcoin by 170%, especially if Bitcoin's going to hold the support. What support are we talking about here, guys? We're talking about a daily close, which is looking possible above 90,600. All right, Bitcoin coming back inside of the major range that we've been trading ever since Trump won the election in November 2024. All right, ever since Trump wins the election in November 2024, we've got this massive range here. As Bitcoin is holding this range, guys, this opens the door for some serious altcoin pumpage. And that being said, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, because we do want to see money coming back into Bitcoin, right? But then we want to see that money flowing into altcoins. Now, right now, what have we seen here? We've seen Bitcoin dominance break down from this bearish rising wedge parallel channel. We're starting to get a little bit of a retracement here, which means some money is coming back into Bitcoin right now. Okay? What we want to see is this money going into altcoins? All right. So what we can do is we can take a look at the altcoin dominance chart, and we can say, okay, this is money that was already in crypto, right? This is already in Tether and or Bitcoin, and now it's leaving Tether or Bitcoin or USDC or whatever. It's leaving stables and Bitcoins, and it's coming into altcoins. So if the Bitcoin dominance continues to show bearish signs of breaking down from major supports and backtesting major resistances, and altcoin dominance continues to show bullish signs, aka holding major support like we have right here. I mean, this is pretty major support. Well, we could see the altcoin dominance break back into this channel, and there's no reason why we can't come back to the top of this sideways range that we've been trading here literally for, I would consider this support resistance flip going back to March 2024, and we could easily see the market cap of altcoins go from 870 billion to 1.2 trillion, right? That could easily happen, right? We could see $400 billion come into altcoins very easily. I know it sounds crazy when you're talking about such big numbers, but keep in mind, in 1 week, guys, we saw the market cap of altcoins go from 1.2 trillion all the way down to 765 billion. All right. Isn't that pretty crazy? Billions of dollars out of the market in a week, and then billions of dollars back into the market within a week, right? We went from 1.2 trillion down to 765 billion. All right, so we're talking like, it's pretty crazy, man. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars out and then back in within a few days, all right? So it is very possible. And keep in mind, when we're seeing Ethereum looking like it's primed to outperform Bitcoin like crazy, when we're seeing altcoin dominance holding support, understanding that it is trading a sideways range here, it is very possible. And that's why I say Bitcoin does not have to hit new all-time highs in order for us to see some serious gains come into the alts. Does it mean we're going to hit new all-time highs on every altcoin? It doesn't mean that. I think Ethereum looks likely for that to happen. Solana looks likely for that to happen. Other assets like AVAX, not so sure. Let's also take a look at USDT dominance, guys, because this is the other piece of the puzzle that we need to keep our eyes on here. Are people putting their money into stable coins? Well, right now, USDT dominance is at major resistance, right? Trading a sideways range. If we want Bitcoin dominance to fall and we want altcoin dominance to rise, we also want to see Tether dominance fall. We want to see people taking their money out of stable coins and really putting it into altcoins. And even if the bear market top is very close or in, which I still believe it is, something like this would allow us to see some serious gains in the altcoins. If Bitcoin's going to stay in this Donald Trump wins the election range, and we're going to continue to see Bitcoin dominance in that bearish pattern that it's currently in right now, we could see USDT dominance fall back to the golden pocket for a back test. And then that would really give us some bullishness in these markets, in the short term. In the short term. All right. Let's see what's happening here right now. Let's zoom in on this Bitcoin chart here, guys. Let's zoom on in. So this is the key level, 90,500. All right, Bitcoin is holding the level right now. We break out, we back test from it. And we are going for new highs, especially now if we're going to make a new high and come above 93K. 96K, in my opinion, is baked in the cake, right? This is a very strong looking right now. If we go to the 4-hour chart, right? A very strong looking, a higher low. And then if we make a higher high and close, man, that is a very strong look on the chart, okay? That is a very strong look on the chart. And again, guys, as I said in the beginning of this stream, all right, this is not a fresh long trade of mine. This is the trade I've been in since Friday, the 21st of November. And I'm very upset with myself for not longing this because I had planned to long it. All right, I gave this setup yesterday morning in the Casper True VIP Discord. I told everybody exactly what I would want to see on Market Cypher in order to get into the long trade. But then when we were there, I was totally blinded. I don't know why, because this is a classic Jason Casper trade. Like, this is my bread and butter right here. This is literally the trade signal that has literally made me hundreds of thousands of dollars in the last 18 months. All right, is the simple bullish divergence on Market Cypher B at a freaking golden pocket. At a freaking golden pocket, Jason, you idiot. Bullish div on the 1 hour. Like, perfect textbook. Look at this beautiful money flow getting higher as we get there. The 24-minute beautiful bullish div, the 12-minute, this is my money maker right here. The 12-minute money flow is like, man, this is what you want to see. I mean, it couldn't get more obvious than this. I mean, my goodness. My goodness, what a freaking idiot. I literally can't believe that I did not take a trade there, guys. I really can't believe it. I should be in like a $700,000 position right now. I cannot believe that. But whatever. You know, it is what it is, man. But sheesh. I can't believe I missed that. Like, what a fool. What a moron. What an idiot. But hey, you know, at least I recognize I'm an idiot. You know what I'm saying? At least I recognize I'm an idiot. So I'm in like a $50,000 position here. I'm in a $55,000 position instead of like a $500,000 position. So, you know, I should be up like 40 grand instead of 4 grand. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? Isn't that kind of sad? Oh my goodness, guys. I can't believe this, you know? It really is tough. It's hard for me to grapple with my emotions. I think I need to cool down, take the plunger, and do some deep plunger breathing. It's okay, Jason, it's okay. There will always be another trade out there, except not this time. There's not going to be any more trades. Just kidding. Man, my plunger is starting to break here, guys. Too many deep breathing plunger exercises. My goodness. Tastes great. All right, shout out to, he says, JC, my guy, when you miss a trade like this, pump, where do you plan to get back in? I don't know. I have to come back to the drawing board, my friend. I have to come back to the drawing board. Whoa, I lost myself there. Hang on. Here we go. There you go. There I am. Back in the action, back in the saddle. Why am I so flabbergasted? I'm so flabbergasted because I literally have, I have not been trading much at all the last few weeks. Because my trade setups haven't been happening, right? I've been making a lot of plans with very few trades to take, right? And I've taken some losses on the way down as well, trying to long. And then when the perfect trade happens, the one that's like unquestionably good from the most obvious level too, is it's not even like, you know, typically this thing happens in the middle of nowhere. Like for the past few weeks, what would be happening is I'd be planning for this, right? I would plan for this. I'd be like, ooh, look, we have all this liquidity here. We have the golden pocket just below. Why don't we take all the liquidity, right? This would be my plan, right? This would have been my plan, like for the past few weeks. Why don't we take the liquidity at 83.4 with some bullish divs and then get a nice bounce? I'd be planning for this, right? And it never happens, so I missed the trade. Okay, I missed the trade. Doesn't matter because I wasn't planning for it, so I'm not that upset. But the fact that I planned for it, the fact that I drew it out on my chart exactly right, the fact that every single confirmation that I was looking for on my dang indicator to tell me to take the trade happened perfectly, like literally perfectly. Like it's usually not perfect. You know, I have six things here. All right. It's very rare you'll get a 6 out of 6. I got a 6 out of 6 confirmation on this one. You know, usually I'll take a trade with a 4 out of 6. Sometimes even a 3 out of 6. But I had a 6 out of 6 setup here. And I missed it. That's why I'm so flabbergasted, you know. And I'm upset about it too because if you guys have noticed, you know, go back to, you know, a few months ago, I'm literally trading with millions of dollars. And if you've noticed lately, I've been trading with some small position size because I haven't really been in the trading zone, so to speak, right? I've been just messing around a little bit. But as we're coming down to these levels, I'm looking for some legitimate setups here. You know, this could be a potential move to, you know, 107,000 maybe. Yeah. So this is definitely a nice move that I dropped the ball on. I mean, so far, that's a pretty good move, right? I think we come up at least now, if we can close the daily candle above 90,500, I think we're going to slip right up to the golden pocket, 96, 97, take the highs of this liquidity over here, you know, this liquidity over here. Should you open a long now? I mean, I would never open a long now. That's the thing. Like, that's the thing about missing a trade. If you miss a trade, you have to acknowledge you missed a trade. Could we get a move up from here? Yeah, of course. Could you have taken a day trade from the breakout and back test of the value area low? Yeah, you could have. Like, if you were here, you could have done something like this. You know, honestly, I do think that's already a really good risk to reward. Like, for me to take a new trade, I need a good entry. Like, that's the thing. I need a good entry. And good entries, you gotta wait for them. They're hard to come by. You get a move like this, and you kind of missed your entry, right? Right? So, yeah, you need to wait for some kind of entry. Which, you know, let me actually do some fresh analysis here. Let's do some fresh analysis here on the Bitcoin. We'll pull the range. You know, yesterday, I don't know why I was so dang blinded yesterday, but all right, we've had some value area shift here. Let's clear everything off and just do some fresh analysis here. We've got ourselves the sideways range. Let's pull it from these highs at 96K. All right, we're above POC. Yeah, $96,000, guys. If we close the daily candle above this level, I mean, it's not only are we above the, it's the opposite of what happened here, right? I'd say we would easily come up to that level. So what I would be looking for now is maybe if we get a pullback and we can't close the candle, you know, it would be a really kind of weak move if we came back down to here. This would be an interesting area to look for a long, but I wouldn't be as bullish, honestly, if we lose this for a second time. I would not be that bullish the second time. What I would ideally then look for would be a move up to some of these highs and then get in on a back test like this, right? Something like that would be the next good opportunity. And, you know, depending on how that actually plays out, like maybe we end up something like this, right? Like if we don't go straight up, we start to form a little bit of range here, right? We form a range like we did before. This could also then give us a local entry where like we get a local kind of liquidity grab, forming a range. Opposite of what happened here, right? This was a short signal. We form a range. We do a liquidity grab of the highs to drop it. And then we form a range here, do a liquidity grab of the lows to pump it up, right? That is one way to get in. That'd be a really nice way to get in because that would give us a really good risk to reward ratio, you know, where we're looking basically at a 4-to-1 in a, you know, about a 5% move. And then the second way I would look at it is, you know, we do come up to here, we get a little bit of a pullback, and then we can get in also on the back test of, you know, that $92,000 level, which is very important. I mean, flipping 92K into support, in my opinion, could give us that pump up to 102. Like 102 is the October 10th wick, right? Which is a very key level. And then if we reclaim 102, you know, the next target for me would be 107, 108, where we have the support resistance flip going all the way back to December 2024. You know, so yeah, those would be some places now to look in. You know, ideally, the ideal thing is to start to form a local range, because local ranges are the places where you're going to look for the entries, right? In order for me to take along here, like I said, we would need to consolidate and get an entry in the consolidation, right? That's where I would look for an entry within that consolidation. But right now, we are pumping. We're about to make a new high. We're about to take 92,000 USD, baby. USD, take it, baby. All right. We got a spam tag. Major shout out to Crypto Crank. He said, same ETH trade like December of 2024, 70K profit, LFG. Shout out to Crypto Crank in the house, man. I'm glad you got that trade, bro. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. Guys, make sure to check out Crypto Crank on the tube. All right. Make sure to check out Crypto Crank on the dang YouTube. Whoa. You know what's weird? Sometimes when your phone's in your pocket you somehow like butt unlock it like 25 times, and you end up like freezing your phone. You guys ever do that? You ever end up freezing your phone, but unlocking it in your pocket? All right, Dapper, he wants the pump and dump song. I don't think I can do it right now, guys. I have a really dry throat today. I don't think I can do the pump song today. But if everyone likes the stream, let's set an alarm here for 5 minutes. All right, and if we can get 1,000 likes in 5 minutes, we'll give away $500. How about that? We'll give away $500 if we can get 1,000 likes. You don't wear tight pants. Stay in low 710. Why not? Why don't you wear tight pants? I'm actually not wearing tight pants. I'm wearing short shorts. I'm wearing some short shorts right now. Let's see if we can't smash the likes up to 1,000 while Bitcoin's literally pumping like a wild lady in distress, running through the wilderness with a laundry basket on her head. Let's get 1,000 likes, guys. Let's do it so I can give away $500. Eddie 201 8SK. I don't have an opinion on this, all right? I personally do not have an opinion on that at all. All right? You got to come to your own dang conclusions. All right, guys. While we're waiting to get 1,000 likes, remember, KCEX has the best deal on fees. 0% market order, 0% maker order, 0.01% taker order. All right, link in the pinned comment and description. I'm also trading on BLOFIN, WEEX, and ZOOMEX. Also, if you want to join the Casper crew, where we do games every single day, where we give away thousands of dollars every single month, you can go to jayscaspertrading.com. We got some Black Friday discounts right now on the Casper crew. Still going on. And also, guys, just so you know, I think they're still going on. Let me refresh to make sure. Yeah, they're still going on. Just so you guys know, this is where myself and other instructors every single day go through the setups that we're looking for in the day, like we did yesterday, where I literally gave the dang long setup from the exact level with the confirmations. That played out perfectly. We do this every day, myself and 3 other instructors. Plus, it's the best community in the world. All right. Casper crew, man, we don't play. All right, we give it to you straight. We never give it to you gay. While we're waiting for, man, Bitcoin's pumping, 1,000 likes. All right, we're waiting for 1,000 likes. Yes, there is an egg code today. All right, there is an egg code today. Kenny says all-time high this week. That would be absolutely insane, Kenny. If we actually get an all-time high this week, that would catch me way off guard, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, so there is an egg code this week, guys, which is, I'm pretty sure it is pecan. All right, if you guys want some eggs, it is pecan or pecan, however you like to pronounce it. All right, let's go ahead and put it in the dang chat for you guys. But basically, guys, what are eggs? Right, I'll put it in the chat here. Eggs are things that are redeemable for prizes in the Casper Crew VIP Discord and non-VIP Discord. All right, you go into the Discord, and in here, you can win, the giveaways. You can use your eggs to enter these raffles, okay, to win cash. You can also use them to win VIP memberships, all right? And every single day in here, we have games, okay? These games, you can win eggs. These eggs give you prizes, all right? Also, once a month in the VIP, we do have Casper Crew Game Day, where we give away thousands of dollars, literally. And it's really fun, all right? So make sure to join the purple stuff is for all members. The blue stuff is for VIP only. And of course, guys, the pink stuff is also VIP only here, okay? And guys, January 1st is New York Day. All right. No games on New York Day. All right. No games on New York Day. All right. Also, guys, the top 10 egg holders are now eligible for $500 giveaways every single month. All right. And the top spot of the leaderboard gets a free month of VIP. Top prize may vary each month. All right. So these eggs are valuable, guys. They give you good stuff. Do you like stuff? Then make sure to get some eggs. All right. If you like the stuff, be sure to get some eggs. If you like the stuff, be sure to get some eggs. Okay. You're allergic to eggs? That's cool. I'm sorry to hear that, actually. Pecan? Yeah, you could win a pecan. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Pecan like this, not pecan like the thing that you should, all traders keep on the side of their desk to pee in. But this is the code now to get eggs for today's live stream in the Quests channel in the Discord. My thoughts on Sol. Let's check out Sol here. Guys, let's get 1,000 likes so we can do a $500 giveaway here. We're like halfway there, honestly. Major shout out, by the way, to Explainish, who says, JC, Bitcoin is fixing to print a green dot in the weekly for MCB. How about that? Is that or talk about Jesus in the Bible? Well, I do love Jesus in the Bible, guys. And also, you know, I do have a YouTube channel called the Billy Casper Bible Channel. Billy Casper Bible Channel. All right, right here, check it out. I go into a lot of biblical topics. All right. But yeah, so the weekly green dot on market cipher B, guys, is essentially going to give us a major relief. All right, it's going to give us major relief. In my opinion, it's going to give us a lower high. But here's the thing. The reason why I say lower high is because we've broken down from the bull market trend line here, which I think is pretty significant. So I'm expecting a lower high to come in, right? And that's probably going to put us back around 100, at the very most, the value area high of our range, which is going to be around 115, right? So we're in our range. We've come to the bottom of the range, back to the top of the range around 115 to back test that trend line and the value area high. But yeah, it's going to give us some significant relief. That would actually be a move up about 46%, 45%, which is very normal for a bear market rally, right? First green dot, big green dot on the weekly. Last time gave us a 47% move. And then the second weekly green dot gave us a move of about same deal, right? About 45%. So yeah, I would say that this is the relief. We've been literally talking about this for a long time, guys, like since November 10th. Once we launched that POC, we were talking about the potential hidden bullish divergence on the weekly. This is our last hope. Also, like we've been talking about how Bitcoin is bouncing from the 786,886. This is our last hope support if we want to get a rally. We are technically bouncing from the level. And I do think now the 3-day has a hidden bull div. It has the potential to give us some serious relief on the 3-day and the weekly time frame. All right. Can we see it depends? I don't have the depends picture anymore. I'm so sorry. I don't have the depends picture anymore. Organic eggs? Well, they don't have to be organic, but make sure they're truly free range eggs, because here's the deal, guys. Right? The deal is, it's hard to get an organic certification, but it's easy to let your chickens just roam around and be free. All right, so make sure you know where your eggs are coming from. If they're organic, they might just be eating organic food, which means they're cooped up in a cage anyway, unhealthy, but their food is, you know, certified organic, which means the organic pesticides are being used, you know? You ever grow your own strawberries and notice how they go rotten, like in 2 days? But you buy organic ones from the store and somehow 3 weeks later, they're still fine? Did you ever notice that? I notice that all the time. Is Jason Jewish? Everyone gets this question. Guys, I am what's known as a Messianic Jew, all right? And the way I personally express my faith in Jesus is through a very Jewish expression, all right? A very traditionally Jewish expression. It's confusing for a lot of people. Maybe I could talk about it more later on that specific channel, okay? But so yeah, so I go to a synagogue. I worship Jesus in a synagogue, all right? In a synagogue, there's a Torah scroll inside the ark, all right? We wear talits. All right, a lot of people wear yarmulkes. There's a lot of questions arise when you start talking about this stuff, which is why I usually don't talk about it. But now I can't really hide it since I'm showing videos of myself up there. You know? Does that mean if we eat strawberries from the store, we live longer? I would say that it depends. It depends what those organic pesticides are, my friend. That's what I would say. You know, that's what I would say. Yeah, but this is a good topic for the other channel, guys. You know, because we end up going down some crazy roads when we wax too biblical on this channel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How did I catch the bottom? Well, I'll tell you how. Go back and literally watch the first thing I said on the stream, and that's how I caught the bottom. That's how I caught the bottom. All right. You thought Jews did not believe that Messiah was Messiah? You thought Jews didn't believe Messiah was Messiah? Now, I'm pretty sure all Jews believe Messiah is Messiah. The question is, do all Jews know who the Messiah is? But yeah, Jesus is Jewish. All the authors of the New Testament are Jewish. It's just, that's just what it is, all right? It's just what it is. You know, Jesus is a descendant of Judah. That makes him Jew-ish. You know, if you're a descendant of Judah, that's where the term Jewish comes from, right? The tribe of Judah. When the kingdom split, it was pretty much Judah in the south, and Benjamin became known as the land of Judah. And that's where you get the term Jewish from. It's just from the kingdom of Judah, right? If you're descended from Judah, if you're from the kingdom of Judah, that makes you Jewish, right? That's exactly where Jesus came from. Genesis 49, when Jacob blesses his son Judah, he basically says Judah is now the messianic line, right? He says, Reuben, you know, you're kind of cool, but you had sex with my wife, so sorry, man. Then Levi and Simeon, you know, they were cool, but they slaughtered all the inhabitants of Shechem, and Jacob didn't like that either. You know? So it ended up going to Judah. Jesus is not Jew, he is Semitic. Well, Jews are Semitic, silly. You know what Semitic means? It means you've descended from Shem, the son of Noah. So, there's a lot of Semites out there. There's a lot of Semites out there that are not Jewish, all right? You know? Yeah, he banged his wife. Yeah, isn't that crazy, man? Yeah, some weird family incest stuff going on. You know? What about CryptoFace? You know, what's CryptoFace been up to these days? What has CryptoFace been up to? Wow. Oh my goodness, man. He was just live, and this thumbnail is something else, bro. Do you see that? This is the craziest thumbnail I've ever seen. Alright, crypto facing some longs recently. Man, that thumbnail, crypto face, bro. That's a good one, man. I like that. I like that, you know? I like that. I like that thumbnail. Alright, Bitcoin. Pumping up, pumping up, pumping up, pumping up. Incoming pullback. Well, it might happen from here. It might happen from here. When are we gonna do a Billy Casper Bible stream? Well, somehow my channel here it got kind of like fake views and fake subs, but soon we'll do one soon. All right, we will do one soon. Okay. Do I like UFC? To be honest with you, I don't like UFC. I'll be honest, I do not like UFC. I think Bitcoin's gonna go for the high up here, guys. Obviously, I'm not really much of a sports guy. All right, that includes UFC or football, and I used to feel, when I was a kid, I used to think, what's wrong with me? I remember, like, you know, my father and his friends would get together and scream at the TV, watching sports, you know, and I used to think to myself, man, that's the most retarded thing I've ever seen in my life. And I used to feel bad for it. I'm like, well, what's wrong with me? Why am I the only one who doesn't scream at the TV when other men are playing a sport? Yeah, I was just never into sports, right? And then when I got older, I just kind of owned up to it. Yeah, I don't like sports, man. I don't like it, you know? I don't like to watch sports. It's totally boring to me. It's totally so boring. I can't imagine why anyone could get some entertainment out of it. But to each their own. To each their own. You know, if you're the one that yells at the TV, I'm happy. Sometimes I wish, guys, I'm not even joking. Sometimes I wish I was just your average 35-year-old white guy who went to work, came home, was totally satisfied, working his crappy 9-to-5, crack open 2 beers at night, just sit there and watch football until I happily pass out on the couch and wake up tomorrow and do it again. But I cannot be satisfied in that kind of life, all right? I need to go seek some more extreme things in life. Am I gay? No, but you know what's funny is, you know, looking back at my life, when I was a kid, I was definitely into some strange things, all right? I'm just gonna leave that there. Do I still believe in a 4-year Bitcoin cycle? Well, go watch every live stream I've done since October, really since September, and I will tell you both answers. How I'm unsure. And right now my hypothesis is my hypothesis is that we're getting the pullback on schedule, but it won't be as deep as previous cycles. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Like, I'm expecting under 70, probably a bounce from the mid 60s, high 50s. You know. All right, Spicy Noodle also. If you like sports so much, go play. That's how I feel too. It's always so, and I mean no offense to anybody. I'm gonna offend some people. I can't. It's so weird to me when you have like a not fat, but like a dad bod, half drunk guy, like in his 30s. All right, eating pizza, drinking beer, being into sports, yelling at the TV. It's like, bro, go to the freaking gym, man. Like, go to the gym, go play football, go play basketball, go play some sport. Like, go actually do it, man. What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with yourself, man? Come on, bro. That's how I feel, you know. Shout out to No More CT. Thank you for the super chat. Now look, I no offense to anybody, okay? Because look, if that's your thing, man, that's your thing. But this is just my own view of it, right? That's my own view of it. Like the Super Bowl, I don't get it. I just don't get it. You know, maybe I'm just retarded. You know, I probably am. Okay? I just don't get it. There's only one sport I like to watch. And so, look, if you are a football player, then I could understand why you would like to watch football. That's a different story. Like, if you actually play the sport, then I could understand why you'd be watching it, right? The only sport I like to watch is powerlifting. I like to watch powerlifting. I like to watch people squat, bench press, and deadlift. That's because I actually do those things, and I enjoy doing those things. And when I see other people squat, bench, and deadlift, it motivates me to squat, bench, and deadlift, and push myself in the gym. You know? All right. Women's gymnastics. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. Yeah. Women's gymnastics. There you go. You're right. I watch cricket, my man. Is cricket the British one? Is cricket the British one? I don't know. Is bodybuilding a sport? Yeah, I guess bodybuilding's a sport. Bodybuilding's like a discipline competition, basically. I mean, bodybuilding's like a discipline competition. But I'm not really a fan of bodybuilding. Like, I never watch like bodybuilding shows or anything like that. But obviously, you know, people like Ronnie Coleman, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I watch them work out. I never watch them like on stage when they're like posing, but I like to watch, like even to this day, I love to watch Ronnie Coleman squat. Right? Let's see. Right? It gets me pumped up. If I'm not in the mood for the gym, this is the video you gotta watch. All right? Right? Because again, he's not even bodybuilding in this. He's just psyching himself up to do something dangerous that's gonna push his body to the limit. So if I'm about to do something dangerous, I'm about to push my body to the limit. Sometimes I need to watch Ronnie Coleman do it, right? See, isn't this more exciting than football? See? No balls. That didn't sound quite right. His only regret is that he could have done another rep. That was light. Look at that, man. That was easy. Easy. That was easy. Wow. But look, to each their own. That's why, you know, I have no disrespect to anyone who's into sports, okay? Each their own. Yeah, now he's in a wheelchair. I know, you know. But here's the thing, man. He pushed himself and he had a goal and he reached the goal. So good for him, man. Let's be honest, okay? If anyone had Ronnie Coleman's genetics, I mean, he was born to be that, right? God created him to be a weightlifter. Yeah, he hurt his back doing all that stuff, you know. But I'll never forget the when he was interviewed about his back problems and stuff. You know, he hurt his back. He went to the doctor. They told him you got back problems. He's like, whatever. He went back to the gym, started squatting again. Sports are literally modern coliseums for masses. I kind of feel that way, Eddie, but, you know, to each their own. Here I am talking crap about football. Meanwhile, I'm watching this, all right? So I'm a hypocrite. All right? I'm a hypocrite. All right? I'm a hypocrite. Jason Casper's such a hypocrite. All right? Would you put yourself in a wheelchair for the sake of heavy lifting? I would not. I would not, okay? Because here's the thing. I'm not Ronnie Coleman, right? Dude was born jacked. Have you ever seen Ronnie Coleman's mom flex her bicep is bigger than mine, all right? He had just perfect genetics. He was winning bodybuilding shows. All natural, no steroids, against people on steroids. All right? He was born to be jacked and strong. Right? He was born to be the best. So because he was born to be the best, I feel like, in a way, it's worth it for him to push himself to the utmost limit to see how good he could be. It's not like your average guy like me trying to do that. I'm never going to be the best. But he actually was the best. You know? So I think everyone has to weigh the pros and cons. You know? All pro sports are rigged. Legalized gambling destroys sports. Interesting. I've heard that kind of stuff. Let's check out the order flow. I've heard that about sports. They're all rigged. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, but it wouldn't surprise me. Nothing would surprise me anymore. All right, here's what the order flow says, guys. Longs opening up. All right. We have about 22 million longs opening up here. Increase of open interest. We've got longs opening up, and we've got shorts trying to short this, but they are consistently getting wrecked. So we had 8 million shorts open here. Underwater, we had another 5 million shorts open here underwater. Now in this current candle, we have about 3 million shorts trying to open. They're trying to fight against the 7 million that just opened. All right, this whole way up so far, this little area, we're seeing increase of open interest. We're seeing positive delta, CVD getting higher. To me, this looks like a healthy move, right? This looks like a healthy move to me. Look at this here. I mean, we had massive amounts of longs open up in this candle right here on the breakout. Another massive injection of longs right here. So this is actually some real buying finally starting to happen here. We haven't really seen real buying in quite some time. It's the first time we've seen open interest start to come up here since yesterday. All right. So yeah. And what's crazy is, you know, we did, you know, if we take a look at the chart here, that orange line, you know, let's see, where's the orange line? Oh, orange line. Oh, orange line. Where are you, orange line? Oh, orange line. Orange line. Here it is. Yeah, so this orange line here, look, we broke out, we back tested it as well. Like this is the key level, 90,005. Super, super, super key. I have it here, this blue line, this key level right here. So holding above this, a daily close above this blue line, 90,005, super, super key. Treadmills are the modern Roman roads. Yeah, yeah. Gym life can become an addiction. I'm addicted to the gym. I'm legitimately addicted to the gym. I cannot imagine my life without lifting weights, guys. I'll be honest, I cannot even imagine it. I cannot even imagine life without the gym. I don't know how people manage life without the gym. You know? I don't know how people manage life without the gym. You know? That's my wow, look at this. We're even backtesting the local POC here. You see that? Look at this. Backtesting local POC. We're flipping resistances into supports this whole way up. I love the gym, you know? I'm addicted to it. It's very difficult for me to take a week off the gym. It's really hard for me to take a week off the gym. It's hard for me to take 4 days off the gym. You know, there's something about that daily dose of endorphins, adrenaline. It's a feel good. It makes you feel good, and it's good for you. You know, I don't know how people manage without the gym. You know, I start to get depressed. It's like going to the gym gives me the drive in life to do all the other things I do. If I didn't go to the gym, I don't think I'd have the drive to do anything else. I'll be totally honest with you. It pushes me in all aspects of my life. Everything that I do. Going to the gym fuels that passion and that energy and that drive to do it. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. If I didn't go to the gym, I'd waste away. I'd probably be a burnout living in my mom's basement if I didn't go to the gym. Do I have a home gym? Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, you gotta have a home gym, guys. When I moved out into the country to start homesteading with my family, we got a southern store town here. When I moved out homesteading, this was back in 2018, I had just made quite a bit of money in crypto from the 2017 bull run. Enough to purchase a property out in the country. Now, I've gone from southern to a little British. And yeah, I live out in the middle of nowhere. The closest gym to me is about half an hour away, right? And I thought, do I want to drive an hour every day to the gym and back? No. So I ended up with a home gym. And back in 2018, before the vid came out, people were giving away free old gym equipment on Facebook Marketplace for free. Like, there was a lady who had her own like private studio. It wasn't for free, but for like $300. She gave me all these horse stall mats for the floor of the gym. She gave me a leg press machine and like a Nordic Track really nice treadmill for like $300. I had this one guy give me 2 barbells, Olympic barbells. He gave me like 250 pounds of plates for free on Facebook Marketplace. People were giving away old rusty weight plates that they didn't want. And so I built my home gym from like old, rusty, old, gross stuff for like, I forget, it ended up in total being like less than $4,000 for like tons of stuff. Good stuff. And yeah, having a home gym is the best thing ever because you don't have to drive to the gym. So if you do short workouts, like half-hour workouts, or even if you do long workouts, you don't have to leave your house, you know? You could blast the music as loud as you want. You know, you could train in your underwear. You don't have to worry about anyone else using your stuff. Is there a sweaty old dried butt print on the head part of your bench? Well, you know exactly whose sweaty butt print it is. You know, there's nothing more comforting than laying your head down on a sweaty butt print knowing it came from your own butt. I mean, God forbid it came from some stranger's butt. Gross. You know what I'm saying? You like driving? Yeah, I used to like driving to the gym too. Like, I remember I had my whole like drive to the gym ritual. I'd have my coffee, have my Hebrew Bible. I would drive to the gym. I would park in the parking lot in the corner. I would pray. I would read the Bible. I'd sip my coffee. And when I felt ready, I'd go into the gym. But that was my drive to the gym kind of thing there. But, you know, nowadays I do that ritual in my house. You know? How many push-ups can I do? Probably like 75. I actually haven't. I used to do a lot of push-ups every day. I haven't done that in a while. Am I currently farming the own farm? Yes, of course. Going to the gym to socialize. This is the only good part of going to a commercial gym is socializing. I miss my gym bros. All right, Sheldon, Peter. All right, Peter. He was like Genghis Khan. All right, this dude was Asian, but massive, like a giant Asian guy, like massive. All right, like this is how I picture Genghis Khan to look. All right, he was tall. He was like 6'6", like massive, bro, massive. I can't even explain. Not like a roided out bodybuilder. All right, definitely not on any kind of drugs. Massive. All right, dude would rep 405 on the bench, just rep it out. He used to ask me to spot him. I'm like, bro, what the heck am I gonna do, man? What am I gonna do if you can't get that weight up, right? He would push me though. He would push me to really push the heavy weight. You know, having Peter around was good. And Sheldon, he was a bus driver. So I worked out early in the morning. Peter was a school teacher. Sheldon was a bus driver. We were the early morning shift in the gym. Yeah, I miss those guys, right? We'd be squatting, deadlifting, bench pressing, dips, all that stuff, you know? But yeah, massive Asian guy, Peter, man. He was funny too. I was like, how do you get so strong? He said, bro, he gave me some real bro science. He gave me the bro science I ever heard. He said, bro, you gotta just eat proteins, fat, and carbs, man. That's what you gotta do. He told me this. Bro, you just gotta eat protein, fat, and carbs. As much protein, fat, and carbs as you can. I didn't have the heart to tell him. That just means eat food, bro. I'm like, all right, man, proteins, fats, and carbs. I'll make sure the next time I eat food, it has protein, fat, and carbs. But, yeah, Sheldon the driver, Sheldon the sniper. You know, they called him Sheldon the sniper because what he would do is he would drive that bus. You know, if he saw you out on the street, he'd be driving 45 miles per hour. If he saw you stand there, he'd stop right in front of you, snipe you right into the bus, man. You've never seen an Asian guy that big? I've never seen an Asian guy that big either. All right. He was a ladies' man, though. He was a ladies' man. I remember talking to him about the Lord. And I invited him out to, church, right? He said, yeah, you know, like, I believe in God, but he said, it's just, I have a problem with women. He had a problem with women. That's what he told me. That's why he didn't want to go to church. You know? I hope he's not watching this, you know? What do I think about Trembo? I don't know what Trembo is, to be honest with you. I know what Trembo is. What does a ladies' man mean? It means he would get with a lot of girls. All right, that's what it means. He would have relations with many females. That was his thing. That was his one vice, he said. You know. Jesus was Aramaic, not Jewish. I didn't know Jesus was a language instead of an ethnicity. This is blowing my mind, guys. Did you know Jesus was a language? I always thought Jesus was, I don't know, a different language than Aramaic, but he's a language, guys. Did you know Jesus was a language and not an ethnicity? That's right, he was the Word of God. He was the Word of God. What band was I in? I don't like to talk about it. What do I think about Trenbolone? I don't know. I've never taken me no Trenbolone. I've never taken me no Trenbolone. I've never taken Trenbolone. I don't plan to take Trenbolone. I don't plan to take Trenbolone. I don't know anything about it, you know. I will never, unless, like, here's the thing, unless I find myself in a position where no matter what I do in life, I have some serious hormonal issues to the point where I'm depressed and I can't do anything to function. I will never touch any kind of exogenous substance to try and improve my hormones and or physique, because that stuff is super risky, you know. Nah, no steroids, never steroids. We never do steroids. No one should ever do steroids, guys. Nobody should ever do steroids unless you are literally in a position where you can make a lot of money because of your steroid use, and it's going to be for your job, all right? So that would include something like a bodybuilder or a fitness influencer, something where your livelihood, you're supporting your family, is dependent on whether or not you use those things, all right? For normal people, which is 99.9%, that stuff is going to absolutely ruin you and destroy you and get you dependent on sticking a needle in your butt every day for the rest of your life in order just to feel freaking normal, all right? Everybody out there and their mom right now is on TRT. Everyone and their mom is on TRT. It's weird, man. Why is everyone on TRT right now? Why is everyone injecting testosterone? That's so weird. Like, nobody did that historically. I mean, we've been human since the beginning of humanity. No one else injected TRT. Why all of a sudden now does everyone feel the need to inject TRT? It's just so strange to me. And most people who do it are like young guys. They're like my age. They're like guys my age injecting TRT. If you want to have high testosterone, if you want to feel strong, if you want to be jacked, you want to have motivation and drive in life, do you know what you do? You don't inject testosterone and you don't take steroids. You eat right, you sleep right, and you exercise right. That's it. You eat right, you sleep right, you exercise right. And maybe if you have a nutrient deficiency, maybe you take some magnesium, some zinc, some boron. Make sure vitamin B6 is not deficient, vitamin B12 is not deficient. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin D, which really just means eat a balanced diet, spend time outside in nature, in the sun, you know, prioritize your sleep, lift heavy weights, and you'll be good. 99% of people will be good. If you're the 1% that's not good, then maybe think about it. But it's crazy, man. I literally know people like in their 20s in my actual real life who are like considering and using testosterone in their 20s, bro. What the heck? Yeah, D12 and K2. Yeah, Trump said we're gonna lose billions and billions of pounds. Yeah, that was so funny. That was so funny. How long does it take to gain 20 pounds? It depends, bro. Are you talking about like muscle pounds? I don't know, because here's the thing. Like, I've kind of been around the same weight for a very long time. I've kind of been around 200 pounds since my 20s. Really since before that. Really the last like 12, no, more than that now. Sheesh, I'm 35. The last like 17 years of my life have been like a slow recomp, all right? I went from like a soft soy boy, McDonald's eating, nocturnal pot smoking, alcohol drinking guy in his 20s, around 200 pounds, to a lean, jacked, strong, mentally sharp and focused, well sleeping guy in his 30s. So I never really had that like I'm gonna start training and I gained a bunch of weight. Ever since I was around 15 years old, I've been lifting weights because I was super fat. So I lost weight. All right. I was like 180 pounds when I was around 13 years old. Pure fat. All right. I was like 5'4", 180. All right. Pure fat. As I got into my older teens, I lost weight. I lost a ton of weight. And my focus was on losing weight. Right? Not on trying to gain muscle. But I always lifted weights, like throughout all that time. So when I finally like kind of evened out, I probably lost weight. I lost like 50 pounds, no joke. I went from like 180 to like a super skinny, like 135. And then I just like ate normal and like lifted weights. And I like probably slowly gained the 50 pounds back over the course of very many years, but it happened like during normal puberty too. So that's the weird thing. Like, so I can't really say, right? Because I didn't start getting serious about fitness till I was like 15. That's right around the time like I started really going through puberty, right? Of becoming like from a boy to a man. So I never really had that moment where I'm like, you know, 21 years old, I look at myself in the mirror and think, man, what's happened to me? Let me start hitting the gym and see if I can gain some muscle. I never really had that moment, right? Unfortunately, I wish I had that moment. What age is the prime for a man? Well, I mean, I think back, you know, I can only go based on what I've seen in life, right? But, yeah, I remember when Biden said the best way to protect yourself against a hurricane is to get vaccinated now. That was hilarious. Good old Biden, man. You know, I feel bad for him because, you know, he has dementia. I wish he didn't have dementia. It would be more funny if I knew he didn't have dementia, because then it's like, you know, it's... You'd have to credit him for being such a good comedian if you knew he still had his mental faculties. It's sad, though, that they use him for the comedy show, knowing that the poor guy is not there anymore, you know. Bitcoin pumping, baby? I'd say the prime for a man is probably in his mid-40s, honestly. I think back to men I've known in my life, and if they take care of themselves, I think prime is in the 40s, mid-40s. That's what I think. I mean, I'm way healthier. I feel better. Like, I'm stronger. I'm leaner, more muscular. I'm sharper. Like, I'm just a more efficient version of myself as a 35-year-old guy than I was as a 25-year-old guy. And I can, unless something drastic happens, God forbid. Obviously, my life is in the Lord's hands, right? Anything that happens is in the Lord's hands. But assuming, by His grace, I continue to live the way I'm living, I can only imagine that when I'm in my mid-40s, I'm going to be stronger, I'm going to have more muscle, I'll be leaner because I'll have more muscle. Like, the more muscle you get, the leaner you get. You know? Yeah, shout out to this guy here. This is a really interesting. I've actually I've never read the book Iron John, but my wife read a book that had the same concept in here. That the problem with North America is that there's no ritual for a boy to become a man. Yeah, like there's no like bar mitzvah. There's no like I guess like the church has like confirmation and like, you know, there's bar mitzvahs in Judaism and a lot of tribes have this kind of ritual where, yeah, now you're officially a man. Yeah, here, especially in the West, you kind of like are in perpetual adolescence until all of a sudden you're expected to be an adult. It's actually really weird. Like, you know, you go to college in the West and most people go to college to like be immature. I mean, most people go to college with the expectation that they're going to like party and do drugs and get drunk and hook up with people. Oh, and get their degree so that they can get a job after. And then all of a sudden they're supposed to like be an adult. That's so weird, right? That is so weird. All right, shout out to Johnny Mac Attack. You know, this is a situation where I'd say it's good. It's good to do that. You know. In some countries, it's called military service. You got circumcised when you were 12? That sounds crazy, man. That sounds crazy. Any shorts from here? No, I would like to see higher before I short from here, to be honest. Egg yolk is spelt yolk? I don't know. Yeah, poor Biden, man. I always liked Biden, you know. College has been feminized. Yeah, I'm really glad I didn't go to college. I mean, I know Jason Casper went to college, majoring in trans, non-carbon, binary emission, gender studies. Here's a picture of me at graduation. But in real life, I'm glad I didn't go to college. That really would have wrecked me, I think. College would have really wrecked me. I'm so thankful I didn't go to college. Because I know if I had gone to college, I probably would not have graduated. And I probably would have been in debt. And so for me, definitely not worth it. You know, for some people, it's totally worth it. But there's so much pressure to go to college. I remember after high school, it's so much pressure. It's like, I don't know what I want to do. Why would I go to college and waste tens of thousands of dollars just to take, like, you know, the first 2 semesters of, like, math and all this other nonsense? Like, it seems so dumb. Don't know what I want to do. You know, they didn't have walking desk treadmills back there. What do the order flows look like? Right now, we got buyers stepping in, man. We just took a look at the order flows. We do have increase of open interest, increase of CBD. We got it, man. We got it. How's my social life? Yeah, I'm a homebody. I don't really go out anywhere, to be honest with you. The only place I go is I go to religious services once a week. And other than that, I literally don't leave my house. I don't leave my house. But you know, I like that. I like that. You know, I love my wife. I love my kids. I love my family. Sometimes I get together with friends, very rarely, maybe like once every other month or so. Yeah, I thrive in being by myself. What do I think about Alex Jones? I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about the man on a personal level, so I can't give you I can't give you an opinion. Ever checked out Trader TV? No, but I should. I should check it out. The title of the video. Well, I was super bearish yesterday, and if you watch the beginning of this video, I missed the most obvious trade setup in the world that I was prepared for, and even literally gave the setup in advance, gave the confirmations to the T in advance, and watched it happen and didn't see it in the moment and missed the trade when I should be long right now from here with a juicy position size. Instead, I added to my old trade, and I'm in a tiny little position from this low. So yeah, you know, in a way, I didn't necessarily sell the bottom, but I missed the most obvious long signal in the world right in front of my face. So I might as well have sold the bottom. Not longing the bottom is the same as selling the bottom, right? Just kidding. The best book you ever read, change your understanding of the gospel, is Classic Christianity. All right, I'll have to check it out. I am a book reader myself. I do. Okay, so here's the thing. I do like Alex Jones for his comedic presentation of things. I've only ever watched Alex Jones to watch him freak out for the entertainment value. You know, I have never watched him for anything more than entertainment, to be honest with you. So, your short is at 89.3, 8x. Should you close? Well, it's in the red, bro. How can I answer the question? 89.3? You shorted in the middle of this? Was it the golden pocket? Yeah, I mean, If I was in that position, I would close it, but who am I to say, right? Was your short from here? Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many. Did you take profit one? There's so many questions. I don't know. I cannot answer that for you, bro. Here's what I can say. The very fact that you're asking the question means you need to go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel and go to playlists and go to the Jason Casper free trading course, 16-part series of how to trade. Go to the risk management section. Watch this video. All right. Next, go to the how to manage open trades video, which is right. Ah, this one right here. How to manage open trades. All right. Part 16. Go to part 2 and part 16. Part 2 and part 16 alone will answer the question for you, or it will give you the ability to answer the question clearly for yourself. All right, check out the free 99 trading course. All right, check it out. Are my kids vaccinated? Of course, man. Why in the world would I ever put them at risk for deadly diseases like the chickenpox or the measles or anything like that? Why would I be so negligent? Make sure everybody to always vaccinate your children. Come on, what do you think this is? Flat Earthville? Sheesh, guys. Why would you even ask such a question like that? You think I don't believe in science? The heck is wrong with you? Sheesh. Which animal is the most important to get first for homesteading? Chickens. Chickens all the way. Chickens, they make compost. They turn everything into compost. They're a steady supply of eggs no matter what, even in the wintertime. You can let them free range. They're very, 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 very cheap to have. They can live everywhere. They don't need water, so like ducks need water. What levers do I use? See, go and watch those 2 videos. Go watch the free trading course. All right? Go watch the free trading course. And it'll tell you all about what leverage you should use and when. All right? Ronnie Coleman's diet was Pepsi and mac and cheese. Nah, Ronnie ate, he really had the ability to eat more normal, like, but he did not eat junk food. He did not eat junk food. He did eat healthy, let's be honest. It's just not as healthy as some others, you know. Good old chicken and rice, you know. Good old chicken and rice. Bitcoin long or short? For me right now, this is a no trade zone. I'm sorry, but I said that yesterday too, even though my long was shooting me right in the face. So the next place I'm interested in shorting would be 96K, to be honest. 96K. Yeah, chickens are the best for homesteads. Chickens number 1, goats number 2. And chickens number 1, goats number 2. And as far, like, if you want to get your homestead rolling, if you want to be as food sovereign as possible, with as little work as possible, here's what you need to do. Get chickens. Plant potatoes, squash, beans, potatoes, squash, and beans, and then just your basic vegetable garden. Araz con polo. Man, as a Cuban guy, I do love me some Araz con polo. And my Cuban grandfather, God bless him, man. He's going to be 99 this year. Isn't that crazy? My goodness, sheesh. Me and my brother, being totally removed from the Spanish language, always troll him by pronouncing arroz con pollo as arroz con polo. It drives him nuts. How did I start learning homesteading? Literally, just watching YouTube videos and reading articles and then doing it. Just literally doing it. I mean, you just got to do it. That's the only way to learn, is to do when it comes to that. All right. First, figure out what you want and then just do it. Just do it. You know, just do it. But yeah, potatoes, squash, and beans and chickens, you could live off of those things. All right. Potatoes, vitamins, minerals, healthy carbohydrates. All right. Don't listen to the propaganda. Potatoes are not bad for you guys. All right. It's so funny. You have all these health food experts out there, all these like fat doctors out there trying to tell you potatoes are bad. Potatoes gonna give you diabetes. Come on, man. Potatoes are not gonna give you diabetes. The Irish lived off them for decades, right? Then you got yourself beans. All right, you got minerals, vitamins. Now remember, you got to prepare these things properly. Don't be eating raw potatoes and beans. Peel your potatoes, you know, soak them, boil them, soak your dang beans, you know, whatever you got to do it right. All right. You got your beans, your potatoes. All right. You got carbohydrates and some protein, tons of micronutrients. Then you got your squash. All right. Squash have edible seeds that contain fat and protein. All right, we love to roast the seeds of the pumpkins and the squash. We roast them, we eat them. The seeds, they have fiber, they have fat, they have protein. The squash tastes amazing. It has complex carbohydrates, lots of vitamins. Tastes amazing. And then the eggs, healthy fats. All right? Tell me pumpkin seeds and eggs, just from the fats in pumpkin seeds and eggs, I mean, you're good to go. And the eggs, of course, they got the proteins. They got the cholesterols. They got all those vitamins, all right? I think you could survive and thrive, literally. If I had to live the rest of my life on just potatoes, squash, beans, and eggs for the rest of my life, not only would I thrive, but I would be happy to do so. That's pretty much like the large majority of my diet anyway. Every single day. Eggs, squash, potatoes, beans. Like, I eat so much of that stuff, you know? I don't put steroids on my plants, but I put chicken poop in them. You know? The Irish look pretty unhealthy. That's true. That's because they mix their potatoes with Guinness, all right? Now, I put chicken poop on them. Blueberries are amazing. Yeah, grow berries. I love to grow berries myself. Am I a beach person or a mountain person? Both, all right? I live in the mountains. But I always go to the beach. Yeah, poop is good stuff, Joe Potter. I'm telling you. Poop is good stuff. You know, it comes out of the earth. It goes back into the earth, you know. Yeah, chicken poop, that's what's up. Compost. You know, when I say chicken poop, I really mean compost. And chickens can make compost. The healthy gym farts? No, I don't. And that's the thing, like, if your body's accustomed to lots of fiber, lots of beans, lots of vegetables, you don't get the farts, okay? You don't get the farts. In fact, if something does give me farts, I question, why do I have farts right now? All right? Why do I have farts right now? What did I eat that's giving me the farts? Because I hate having farts. Farts are a sign that you're not digesting your food properly. If you have gas, you'll notice you're not going to sleep well that night. You're not going to absorb your food well. But if your body's if you have the right gut biome and you're used to the fiber, you're used to the beans and the vegetables and all that stuff, you should not get farts. What you should get is smooth digestion without gas, and you know you should have your digestion should not take slow. All right, you should poop a lot, all right? Just, it should be going through you, all right? You're an efficient machine. You should be pooping 2 times a day, maybe 3. You know, no straining, no constipation, no diarrhea, no farting, no bloating, you know? Right? Boyan knows. Shout out to Boyan. If you're doing it right, you know. But you know what? I just realized something. I just realized something. We've been streaming for a long time, man. Did you guys notice how long this stream was going? Did you guys notice how long how long this stream is going? Yeah, one long log. One long log. Exactly. One long log. You should be able to build a log cabin by the end of the day. Alright, if you can't build a log cabin, you need to assess your microbiome there. Guys, I have to go because we're late for games in the Casper crew. Alright. We gotta play games in the Casper crew. I lost track of time. So God bless you guys. Have a great day. And Lord willing, I'll see you mañana. Peace.